This video talks about the Westby play scale. It's the document that is part of Module 1. It's a list of items numbered from 1 through 50, 54, and I'm going to highlight some of the important things that I want you to really understand about this document. The first one under the Westby Play Scale document is number 11. Perception works with cognition in helping establish a foundation for a language. I think it's important that how we perceive has a large impact on how we code information, how we put that into our cognitive schemas, and then that perception and cognition together form the basis for the language, for what we might say about that idea or how we perceive that object. So that is an important aspect of this document. Number 21 and 22 are two other things that I want to emphasize. Play is viewed as an activity that provides lots of opportunities for how children learn about things in their environment and about things in their world. So without children experiencing things, going out and playing, having experiences with different objects, toys, activities, they're not going to have a strong language base. They're not going to have a strong cognitive base because they haven't had that opportunity to experience, play, touch, and feel with whether it's toys, whether it's objects, whatever it might be. So it's very important that children are involved in activities to help their learning, to help their cognition, to help their language. So play is very vital in terms of that. Communication skills certainly are going to be advanced because of the cognitive development. You will see a correlation between the cognition and the language development. Many times we measure cognition, and language plays a strong influence in that measurement of cognition. Number 25 talks about the object's permanence, but I think the important thing to understand here is the last part of that point, and that is knowing the existence of an object, even when you can't see it, is not the same thing as developing a strategy for finding an object. Those are two very different levels of understanding. So knowing that that object still exists under a blanket, under a cup, something like that, is at a lower level than knowing this is missing. How do I find it? What actions do I take? What problem-solving activities do I engage in order to get to that higher level of experience, of learning, and cognition? Number 29 talks about that some critics of Piaget suggesting that cognitive development does not always progress in a rigid step-by-step manner as he feels the stages are. We could debate whether that is true or not. I think the important thing is that you understand that with students with preschool language disorders, students with some handicapping condition may not follow that step-by-step progress of development. You will see things that are here in development, and then you will see holes or gaps that child did not develop a concept or an idea. And so it's important to remember that particularly children with disabilities will not follow that step-by-step progression. And so you'll need to look ahead at some of the other milestones possibly, because they might be missing one here, but yet at their age range they might have this one. So look for those possibilities as you work with children with disabilities. Number 36 on your handout talks about Vygotsky and how he feels things use that, and I think it's real important that children use language to direct their actions and to learn how to get things done. Language is that vehicle, language is that facilitator that enables a lot of things for children to learn and experience, and using language will help their actions, will help their behaviors. All of those things are interwoven into language, so that's very important to understand that language is not separate from behavior, that is separate from cognition. all of them are joined together. Language, behavior, cognition, attention, all those things come together, and language is really the core that can help facilitate learning in all those areas. Number 38 talks about the differences between Piaget and Vygotsky. And Piaget certainly, as we said before, looks over a step-by-step, stage-by-stage type of development. Vygotsky sees it more as continuous, shaped by different things in the child's environment, whether it be experiences, whether it be adults, whether it be objects. So remember that contrast in terms of Piaget and Vygotsky. And then lastly, number 48 talks about executive function, and I want to stress an understanding of executive function in terms of that is a set of processes in the human brain that allow us to do a lot of things. So executive function covers a lot of things that we talk about that the brain can handle. And so the brain allows us to maintain attention. It allows us to withhold distracting information. It inhibits some attention or association. So if the light is buzzing, that attention will not be to the light, it will be to the speaker that is talking to them. It enables you to use your working memory. It enables you to maintain attention to one person or shift that attention between people. So executive functions is a whole set of processes. It is not one thing, it's a combination of a lot of things, and it interplays with a lot of those things as we talk about attention, as you talk about working memory, as you talk about inhibiting information and being able to sort out and say, this is not important, I need to let that go and pay attention to this. So that is some information about executive function. Hopefully that will provide you with some more detailed information about the information contained in the Westby Play Scale document.